This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. St. Thomas police make $2 million ganja bust. The St. Thomas police are reporting a $2 million ganja bust in St. Thomas. According to the police, about 2,000 pounds of compressed ganja was found in Russell District in the parish on Thursday. The police say the drug was found hidden among food products in an abandoned Isuzu panel truck. They also say they have noticed an increase in incidents of drug trafficking in the eastern end of the island, particularly in Portland and St. Thomas. The police ask for the help of the public to curtail drug trafficking. If you have information, call Crime Stop at 311, Police Emergency Number at 119, or the Narcotics Division at 876-923-5729 or 876-923-6184. Teen among two people shot at a Mount Friendship bar. A teenager is among two people shot at a bar in Mount Friendship in St. Andrew last night. The injured people were rushed to a hospital where they were admitted in stable condition. The incident occurred about 10:40 p.m. when armed men entered the bar and opened fire. The gunmen then escaped. The news understands that there has been unease in the area in recent weeks over the theft of motorcycles. The St. Andrew North police are investigating. Kingston man charged with murder. A 22-year-old Kingston man has now been charged with the February 26 murder of Aymara Grant of James Street that occurred on Sutton Street in the capital city. Garfield Gordon, otherwise called Tristan, of Lissant Road, Kingston, CSO, has also been charged with illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition. The Kingston Central Police say between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., Grant was on duty on Sutton Street when he was attacked by Gordon and other men who were armed with handguns, machetes, and knives. The men tied Grant's hands and took him to the back of the compound, where they stabbed and chopped him in his head, chest, and face, then shot him in his head, killing him on the spot. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. On Thursday, March 24, an operation was conducted in the area and Gordon was taken into custody. He was yesterday charged based on an eyewitness statement. Gordon's court date is being finalized. Major fire at a Forum Fishing Village. Firefighters are now assessing the losses following a major blaze at the Forum Fishing Village in Portmore, St. Catherine this morning. 12 business establishments were destroyed. Firemen worked for hours Sunday to extinguish the blaze. They say millions of dollars were lost in the fire. Residents also said there was looting. Grand spent curfew to continue until Monday evening. The curfew, which was last night imposed in sections of the St. Andrew North Police Division, is to remain in effect until 6 p.m. Monday. It's part of efforts by the police to contain possible attacks following Friday's murders of reputed area don Bombsha Bomba Miller, his brother identified as Joe, and another man on Morgan Lane in Grants Pen. The boundaries of the curfew are as follows: north along Grants Pen Road, west along Morgan Lane cul-de-sac, south along Old Church Avenue and Old Church Road, Old Church Avenue, east along Grants Pen Road to Old Church Avenue and Old Church Road. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain on their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. St. Elizabeth welder held in Portland with a ganja worth US $600,000. 45-year-old Jason Johnson, a welder of Rose Hall District in St. Elizabeth, was charged on Saturday, April 2, by the Narcotics Police in connection with the seizure of approximately US $600,000 worth of ganja, which was seized in Buff Bay, Portland on Tuesday, March 29. Johnson has been charged with the offenses of possession of ganja, dealing in ganja, taking steps to export ganja, conspiracy to export ganja, and trafficking ganja. He was arrested by the narcotics officers along the Buff Bay Main Road in Portland about 2 p.m. when the Nissan Wing Road motorcar he was driving was found to be transporting approximately 600 pounds of compressed ganja. The vehicle with the drug were seized and Johnson arrested on reasonable suspicion for breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act. Following an interview in the presence of his attorney, Johnson was formally charged with the offenses. He is to appear in the Portland Parish Court on Thursday, April 7, 2022. Fertilizer from Morocco only a short-term fix, JAS president says. The Jamaica Agricultural Society says the fertilizer secured by the government from the Kingdom of Morocco is only a short-term fix for the crisis facing the country's farmers and the agricultural sector. Local farmers have been facing a dilemma due to skyrocketing fertilizer prices triggered by global supply challenges and the war in Ukraine. President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Lenworth Fulton, told the news that farmers are anticipating the disbursement of 24,000 bags of fertilizer this week. He argued that although the donation will offset challenges relating to fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the global increase in prices, it is only a short-term fix. Fertilizer is a reusable item that each crop grown will need fertilizer, and they are in different grades for different crops. That will take us 6 months down the road. The heavy use of fertilizer will be needed in October this year to meet the Irish potato crop and for sugarcane, banana, and plantain. Last month, Minister of Agriculture Pernell Charles Jr. announced that Jamaica received 24,000 bags of fertilizer worth $122 million from Morocco. Expect more light bill shocks, power study says OUR. Consumers should expect to see further spikes in their electricity bills. Utilities regulator, the Office of Utilities Regulation, has sounded an ominous warning to households and businesses. Purchasers of power from the national grid, managed by the monopoly distributor Jamaica Public Service Company, are already reeling from high bills influenced by myriad factors, including spiraling world oil prices and the supply worries caused by the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the resulting sanctions against Russia for its aggression and continued destruction of its Eastern European neighboring country. The warning from the OUR comes ahead of plans by the regulator to conduct a power sector study this fiscal year. Light bills would have been even higher than current levels had the country not embarked on a fuel diversification strategy some 7 years ago, when some 95% of the energy the country produced was from heavy fuel oil. While electricity consumers are likely to continue experiencing shocks from spikes in international prices, the increase of renewables to 12% and the fixed-price LNG at 62% as part of the mix provide a significant buffer against such shocks, OUR Director General Answord Hewitt said at the entity's stakeholder engagement held online Thursday night. Oil prices on the world market recently reached over US $140 a barrel, but have started waning. This week, oil prices dipped below $100. The price of LNG has remained at around the US $5.70 per unit, some 115% higher than it was this time last year. It is not readily obvious when you look at your energy prices going up each month, especially during this period, and it is perhaps not very comforting for us to tell you that it could have been worse, but it could have been had we not changed the energy mix, Hewitt said. The news was unable to get an estimate of the amount of savings from the addition of renewables to the energy mix. There is no doubt that bills would have been higher if we had stuck to the fuel mix of, say, 7 years ago. However, we cannot definitively say how much more they would be, given the daily and weekly fluctuations of oil prices, over which we have no control, Elizabeth Bennett Marsh, public education specialist at the OUR, said in response to the queries. The OUR said that during the fiscal year starting April 1, it plans to conduct its annual rate review for the JPS, while also conducting an electricity market and a price study. The OUR, in its market study, wants to analyze the changes taking place in the electricity sector and also the disruptive effects of new technologies. It is critical for the regulator to understand the possible configurations the market could take and the associated price trajectory. We therefore expect to undertake such a study during the period, the regulator's Director General said. Portmore pastor now okay after collapsing during sermon. Congregants at the Portmore Holiness Christian Church in St. Catherine had a scare this morning when their pastor, Lorenzo Sandford, collapsed while delivering the sermon during the first of two services. The pastor was delivering the message in his series, Are You Ready for the Heavenly Call?, when he fainted. It was captured on YouTube livestream, but the video has since been removed. The pastor soon regained consciousness and was medically assessed and cleared by the church's nurse to preach at the second service. When the news arrived at the church at the end of the second service, Sandford said he was now feeling well. He noted that en route to church he felt a slight unease in his stomach. Sandford also said customarily he does not eat before delivering the sermon. I never generally eat before. When you receive the message and when you come and deliver the message, after that you catch up, he said. The pastor said his wife and the son who are overseas were also shaken by the incident, but he is seeking to assure that he is now all right. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.